Welcome to the Cute North Georgian podcast. I'm your host, Carly McCurry, editor of the Cute North Georgian magazine, where we celebrate the incredible people, places, and businesses that make North Georgia unique and special. Whether you're here to discover something new, connect with your community, or just receive a little inspiration, you're in the right place. So let's dive into the best of North Georgia together. Today, I'm delighted to have Ms. Jessica Beach from Blush and Wild on the show today, a business known for its creativity, its elegance, and community spirit. Jessica is one of those people who always seems to be uplifting others, whether through her participation in local events or through her sponsorships. Honestly, there's no event that you can go to in or around Habersham County where you will not see Jessica and Blush and Wild present either as a guest, as a business, or as a sponsor. Jessica, I've only known her for about a year, but she definitely gives off the impression that if you are cold and you need a jacket, she will take off her jacket and give it to you. So we are thrilled to have this cornerstone of our community here today. So welcome, Jessica.
Welcome to you.
Now, you own Blush and Wild, and I remember the first time I heard your name, my first thought was blush and bashful.
Mm-hmm.
And when I met you, I asked you, is this based on Steel Magnolias? And I was so happy when you confirmed that it was.
Yes. We are, my whole family is, we're a bunch of Southern women. We know every word to that movie.
As every Southern woman should.
Yes. And like we were talking about plays, my sister, are you going to tell you?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. You're talking about plays. You talked about how there is a play version of Steel Magnolias. A lot of people have seen the movie, but not everybody has seen the play. And when I was 13 years old, I saw that the Cumming Theater House was hosting a version of Steel Magnolias through the Gypsy Theater Company, and I'm like, this is it. This is my chance. This is my big break, y'all. So I decided that I would try out to be part of Annelle, because she's the only one that's not 60 years old.
But so which one do you think you would be?
Today? Maybe Clarice. I like to think Clarice.
She's a good one.
I know. I aspire to be Weezer. But I think right now I'm a Clarice.
Okay. I feel like a Weezer.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to be Trudy.
Trudy. Yes, everybody wants to be Trudy, I'm sure, on some level, because Trudy's so nice and warm and pretty talented too. Yeah.
Pretty old Southern woman.
Oh yeah, 100%. Everybody wants to be Dolly Parton. So that's the origin of Blush and Wild.
So I was thinking, what would be a staple, in my life, just kind of everyone would kind of know it or catch on to it, or it would be a conversation starter. So it would be the blush and bashful, but the bashful kind of doesn't sit with my personality. So I put wild in there. Not that I'm wild, but just that it would be more like nature and bold.
And a lot of your jewelry is kind of based on nature. Like, I remember the first thing I ever noticed that you made, and it stood out among all of the other jewelry. And it just drew my eye from the moment I walked in. It's this beautiful rose earring. And I think you made it for Valentine's Day. And just the moment I walked in, that was what caught my eye. And at first it was so sad because my ears aren't pierced because I heal really quickly. A blessing and a curse. But as far as earrings go, I would have to re-pierce my ear every day. So it is, every day I was re-piercing my ear. And so that's a nightmare. So I just gave up and went with the clip-ons. Yeah.
It's gotta be tough to work with.
It can be, but not with your product.
Well, since talking to you and making you a pair of earrings, I have been bringing clip-ons to my festivals so that if someone comes in and says that they can't wear them, then I'm more than happy to adjust it onto the clip-on.
Yeah, so normally I could exclusively get my clip-on earrings from Etsy. So it was amazing to have somebody local that can adapt that for me without waiting 3 weeks and paying Etsy prices. Now, what I love about your work is that it's highly original. So I love to read, and I was a teacher, and I write. So naturally, I love books. And I saw that you had book earrings, and so you made me the most lovely stack of book earrings and in a really very soothing color palette. So it was like a really rich light blue, a kind of creamy brown, a kind of creamy tan color in white. And it was so pretty, a little dainty flower on top. And you would think, especially with clip-on earrings, that it would be kind of painful. But no, I was able to wear those bad boys several hours straight with no strain.
Yeah, the polymer clay is very light, and most of the time flexible. The books aren't because they're so thick, but I really do enjoy, even if I have a cutter, that gives me the shape, I really do enjoy going in and making the little pages and the art aspect.
And I should really say something about the detail too. These are very detailed little pieces of art. I mean, like I said, that when I was looking through the shelves of all the other products, yours stood out as being truly artisan. Every little detail was seen to. And they're in such rich, appealing colors. Like I think about, you see reels of like Disney and it shows like the kind of textured art that kids love. If it's like a Toy Story, right? Where like Andy's getting the bottom of his shoe painted. And I just remember the feelings that just that kind of color and that kind of texture evoke. And you actually are able to really harness that into your products.
Well, thank you.
For sure, yeah.
That must just come straight from, I feel like this is going to work because, as I was telling you earlier today, I'm colorblind. So there's a lot of times when I have to call two of my children are colorblind as well. So I have to call the youngest one in, get him to start labeling all of my clay. So that
you knew that third child would be a good investment one day. And finally it's paying off. Yeah, finally paying off. Right. So your jewelry, it's very unique in part because of the materials that you use are so unique. Can you tell us a little bit about what you use and why they're able to make the highly textured products that you're able to make?
So when I first started out, I was using resin, and I love the shine that it gives, and I love when you add the color and it just kind of like swirls and does its own thing, because you really can't manipulate that very much. And the shine of that is just so pretty to me. And then, yes, when I started doing the clay, it was so much, I would say, easier to work with, but I keep pushing myself, and so, it gets a little bit harder and harder as we go. But I use the polymer clay a lot on my earrings just because it is so light and it's a lot cleaner to work with.
Right, and that's probably why it's so easy to wear them. And on your ears, it doesn't hurt after several hours, despite some of the shapes and sizes.
Yeah, there is no weight to them. A lot of, even with the resin is that way as well. Most of the stuff that I make with the resin, even if they're shoulder length, you don't feel.
Yeah, my
ears a lot to even see that.
Even with the clip-ons. So in our fast-paced, screen-oriented world, the idea of being hands-on and multifaceted, it feels rare. So why do you think it's important to cultivate creativity and new skills in today's society?
I am an artist at heart. I have just always either wrote poems or drew pictures. Like my entire high school career was art, basically. Art 1, Art 2, commercial art, folk art. And to see kids, and my boys especially, because they love video games. And you see them just on the screen all the time, or even in school and on their laptop in school all day long. It's heartbreaking because where are we going to get this from? Is it all going to be computer generated, or is,
Right.
The art of using your hands to create something? No, you can't find that anywhere. Even if you made earrings and I made earrings, or you made paintings and I made paintings, they're never going to be the same.
Right.
So the uniqueness of it, is untouchable. We can't recreate that. And I try to push my boys all the time. One of my sons asked for a camera for Christmas because he's interested in photography. And you bet I'm going to jump on that.
That's awesome. No,
yeah. I'm constantly trying to get them. And he had made, the first year I started doing the clay earrings, he made a set of clay earrings, and I gave him his percentage off. So anything that they want to do that's using their hands, whether it's woodworking or painting, I am 100% for it.
Yeah, I've never learned like these little, not little, I mean these important, but I mean to say these domestic sort of, I want to say, I guess activities, right? So for instance, today or yesterday, I baked my first pie. So I made my first pie crust. And I was so jazzed.
Yeah.
I was so jazzed. And it was so easy, but I was so intimidated at the idea of making a pie crust. And 2 weeks ago, I baked my first, honest to goodness sugar cookies from scratch, really put the little Santa Claus shape into the dough. And
that's amazing.
That's my first time ever doing it.
It's such a feel of accomplishment when you just step out there and do something, and then you're like, oh,
like I could do it. Yeah. And I was so intimidated at the idea. I'm still intimidated at the idea of art. So yeah, I mean, that's a next level above
painting, and I hope one day that I just dabble in different things all the time, but I hope one day to have a studio where I can paint. And I'm not a good painter. I mean, I can trim around the walls and the ceiling, but as far as looking at something, I can draw it, and then when I go put paint on there, I'll ruin it. But I love the idea.
Yeah, I love the aesthetic of painting, and that is totally different. That is not the same thing.
I do have, which they're all sold, but I was making pendants a couple of years ago, and I just painted like this simple little ocean wave, and then I painted like a night sky with a tree, but they were like an inch big. And it's much more forgiving doing that than,
right.
You just put a dot on it and say, oh, yeah, that's a star.
That's true. I actually hadn't thought about that. No pointillism. So, this next set. I like to get a little bit of culture. And I partake in the reels on Instagram and Facebook. Now, I don't have TikTok anymore because it's addictive and it was not good for me. So, I'm not saying reels is good for me, but it is less addictive for me. So, on reels, and I have seen this trend in the wild, right? And I see it come and go on TikTok and Reels and all that. But recently, I've seen an upsurge in this trend of work spouses. You know where I'm going with this. The whole work wife, work husband TikTok trend. And I gotta say, it's like meals on the chalkboard. When I hear someone call their colleague, right? Because that's what we used to have. We used to have valued and respected colleagues. There was like the whole Ebenezer Marley thing and Christmas Carol going back. They were valued, treasured colleagues, right? There were number twos, right? There were second in commands. There was the right-hand man. We had the George Washington, Alexander Hamilton duo. But you know what? Alexander Hamilton didn't go up to George and call him his work husband. Right? That would be weird.
Yeah.
So, but now, everything has to be cute. you know? And I'm going to say this is actually cute, especially because so many of these work spouses are already married.
Have you seen? So there's a woman that does them. I don't know who she is. But she has blonde hair. She's a really beautiful woman, and she will act the part.
Yes, I'm going to show her in a minute.
Yes. And she's right on it, and it makes me so angry because I'm like, and I'm talking like, oh, I would have said da 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 da.
Yeah.
That's your wife? Oh,
yes. I will be putting that video up in just a...
Gosh, Chris, I've been looking for you everywhere. After party at my place. Do you want to go now? We can share an Uber, get the party started. Oh my gosh. Hi. I didn't think you were going to be here this year. Well, Chris, you haven't been wearing your wedding band all week, so... The gym. Oh, okay. That explains it. Well, it's good to see you again. Oh my gosh. What are you doing? Chris, you didn't tell me you were expecting. You're not? Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. Oh my God. Ignore me. Oh my gosh. I think it's just the dress style. Sorry. Actually though, I like to style people in my spare time. So Chris, give her my number so I can help her. I don't mind. You wear your hair the way I told you to. I love it. It looks so good. He listens to his work wife. I told him I like long hair and now he's growing it out. You don't like long hair? Oh, I think it looks so good. Yeah. Well, anyway, it was good seeing you guys. Chris, if you're allowed to come to the work party later, if she lets you. Just kidding. All right. I'll see you guys later.
Okay. But I will say, because I commented on your post on Facebook, and I have worked in mostly male-dominated jobs.
Yeah.
To the point where we're talking about 150 people, and there's like 4 of us ladies there. I always make friends with the ladies, but I do make friends with the men, and some of them you become closer friends with than others. I've never called anybody. That's really weird.
It's so intimate.
I feel like it's disrespectful to your husband.
Yes.
To their wife. But I do feel like if you have an open communication, I was going to lunch with these men.
Yeah.
But my husband knew that I was going to lunch with them. He knew their names. He knew their wives' names. Like, I am an overshare all the time anyways. So I could literally come home and go, oh, I went to lunch with so-and-so today. His wife called. We met her over there, and it's a friendship that I developed. So it's not just with your husband, but, that if I meet you and you don't trust me, then I'm not going to be friends with you.
Yeah, you're not pretty for lunch.
No.
It's just like cheating on a Tuesday.
Yeah, and I did have a lot of older men say, this is not, you should not. Well, I'm not just going to sit here all by myself all day, every day.
Yeah.
A girl. And
so there's definitely ways to navigate the workplace. Work spouses ain't it. So it's okay, dude. The best part about turning 30 is I finally have a gut, right? An instinct, right? So back when I was 25, I was very thin, right? And now that I'm 30, I'm 2 babies in. I no longer am as thin as my 25-year-old self, but I like having an instinct, having a gut, so to speak.
I'll tell you, even sometimes now my parents make fun of me. I was the kid that would not order their own food at the restaurant. And even now, like, I ordered a drink not long ago and it wasn't very good, and I wouldn't tell the waitress. And my dad ended up having to say, can we get a little bit more, whatever juice in this drink for her? And I was just a timid child. Sometimes I wasn't. I must have like a Hyde and Jekyll kind of thing going on. But as I became more, as you become older, you kind of know your boundaries and get comfortable with being able to just be like, yeah, I'm not, this is going to happen.
Well, you know what? I am leaning into my big Karen energy. I think Karens, they are not appreciated enough. Really? You should have more respect for Karens because then, I don't know, you've probably seen this. With customer service these days, you go to the drive-thru and they hate you for being there. Like, I've done my time at McDonald's. Okay, I worked there for 2 years, right? 17 to 19. Okay, I did my time, right? I know what it's like. I know it's terrible, right? Nobody in there is happy, but they don't have to, the customer doesn't have to know that. Part of my job description is to smile and be pleasant, no matter how difficult they are. Now, that doesn't go into abuse, right? So, like, if you're being abusive, you know, you have the right to decline service. But at the end of the day, you know, it's my job to have some emotional restraint, right? But I can be perfectly nice to the people to the Zaxby drive-through, so to speak. The people in the Zaxby drive-through, and they hate you just for existing in their eyesight, in their eye range, because you decided to frequent their business, and they do. It's antipathetic, you know. And I'm so friendly in the drive-through because I know the pain and suffering. I even order my sauces. This is how you know I'm actually a really good customer. I order my sauces in the back window. I'm not getting to the drive-through window and asking for sauces to go and get it.
Yeah.
I don't do that. No. So I am a good customer, and I'll go and hey, how are you doing? And they'll just look at me.
I think it's very generational.
Mm-hmm.
Or
it is a bit generational.
just because that's who you're getting mostly in those jobs, and I think that
it's true.
I think, and I'm Gen X, so you know I'm an oldie, but
like Aristotle's always complaining about the kids, you know. So going even back to that time,
but 2020 really it just flip flops the whole customer service thing.
It is especially bad
because, and then the tip culture on top of that. So people are giving you worse service and expecting more money.
Yes, I can't do it.
We went through a local drive-through to a chain. It wasn't like a small business thing, and they had a cup sitting outside where they just wrote tips on there. I'm like, these kids are making like $15 an hour.
Yeah, I make $7.25. 10-cent raises. Okay.
It was $5. The minimum wage was $5.25. I'm like, was working.
I believe it. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And then my son even said, "What do they need to tip?" I was like, we're in the drive-thru.
Yeah.
You know, you're not bringing anything to my table.
It's wild. And
they were nice, I will say.
Good.
They were nice. And sometimes when I'm standing there and I'm ordering, even if it's to go, and they're having conversation and they're being, you know, nice and accepting of, because I just chit chat all the time. I will put a tip in there, even if I'm giving it to go, just because they have a good attitude.
Oh, absolutely! It makes such a difference. And I will fight people that are mean to the cashier. I will call people out when their behavior's bad. And that's why I said I'm going to lean into my big Karen energy, because yes, if I'm a customer, I actually do expect good customer service, and there's nothing wrong with that. There are such things as manners and etiquette, and just being polite. Yeah. But if you're also the asshole yelling at the teenager, I'm going to get all over you for that, because that's not how you should behave. It's called having manners. And that's what Karens in the world exist to do.
But some Karens are the ones that,
some,
you know.
And I also really
even Karen videos.
Clearly. But I will also say too that the term Karen has become just any woman that I find annoying, or any woman that says anything. Like if I were to object to poor customer service,
yes,
then,
that is a problem.
Yes, I know. Like I went to the library the other day, and in the kids section, they didn't have outlets on the walls, and I was so nice to the Gen Z age librarians, and I just very kindly pointed out. First, I thanked them for the work that they do. Then I told them about the outlets, and they just stared at me. Did not respond, did not, nothing. And I'm like, I could see it in their eyes, their contempt for me offering the tiniest.
I think that also boils down to, once again, generational. I'm sorry to say that.
Yeah.
But you can see it if you're not in it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
There's no problem solving. There's no, like, they don't jump into it unless you tell them that they don't do this or guide them into it. They're not just like, oh, okay, let me see what I can do about that. They just are not, they just go robot.
Yeah.
you know.
And I thought it was like the most reasonable request in the world. I'm like, they should just probably be outlet covers.
Yeah.
On these, of course, parents should watch their kids, but sometimes
And they could at
they have
least
two
go,
kids.
oh my gosh, I've never thought about that.
Yeah.
I'll mention that to the manager.
But at least lie to me. That's fine too. I don't care. But don't stare at me.
They can't.
Like I'm a crazy person because I look at the outlets and like some kids can stick their finger. And yes, of course, we hope parents can watch their kids, but you know what? Sometimes they bring more than one kid. And these accidents, they happen in a second. And that's what I was doing as a parent, is that accidents happen in a second.
I've called out something like that before and just said, I'm not trying to be rude, I'm just letting you know so that you don't get sued.
Yeah, right? At the very least, just self-interest should kick in. But I digress. So, this next section, this is our holiday episode, obviously, because huge fireplace. We have this, the tree isn't shot, but
Don't mind it being fair.
Yeah, it is lovely. It's a lovely tree. So our holiday episode before Thanksgiving. And I'm going to start with one of the hard-hitting questions. You're ready? I'll throw you a bit of a curveball. Paper plates at Thanksgiving, for or against?
Okay. If it's just, okay, I have different thoughts about this.
Okay.
I would like to grow into an old woman that has my family over and does the nice plates and the wine and the glasses and all that jazz with the candles on the table.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I have in my head. But in real life, I say not paper plates, maybe the secure plastic plates so it'll hold a lot. But if you're inviting 25, 30 people over in your family, that is just ridiculous to think that you're supposed to have real dishes.
Now, time for my favorite segment, because it's if we're just tying back into our Steel Magnolias conversation, it's the Clarice and Weezer Beauregard section of the evening, and that is our tea time segment. Welcome to our tea time segment. This is my favorite segment of the Cute Country. It's because this is where we gossip about the best and worst of North Georgia. And we get our sources of gossip from information that people just put out there. They put it into the ether. They put it out there for us to judge and consume. So here we are doing our due diligence and following up on what these people feel is worthwhile to discuss. And I agree. It's worth talking about.
So easy to type.
Oh, it sure is. It sure is. Even with Grammarly, even with ChatGPT, we still have them. Thank you. Thank goodness, right? So this little beauty comes from Voice of Habersham in Northeast Georgia. Thank you. We will leave the names blank because it's supposed to be mean, but not that mean, right? And mean with a lowercase n. Yeah, I'm not trying to get beat up. I'm not trying to make anybody cry. But again, this was put out in the ether. They clearly wanted to have this conversation, and I'm happy to join it. So this one is about the local Zaxby's of Cornelia. And I gotta admit, I don't really have a dog in this fight. I typically get pretty good service from Zaxby's. So, but Zaxby's is going to really feature very heavily because there are two places that people in Habersham like something about, and that is the new Sonic. She posts about that Sonic all the time, and the Zaxby's.
Really?
And I don't know why, because personally, if I were the type to complain about my local fast food chain, it would be McDonald's in Cornelia.
We don't even do it.
Yeah. So if I were, it would be the McDonald's in Cornelia. But this time it's Zaxby's, and the post says, "Thanks, Zaxby's of Cornelia. I ordered extra crispy fries, and they were pale, flimsy, and ice cold. Didn't even have hardly any special seasoning on them. Epic fail, guys. 3 exclamation marks. By the way,
Mhm.
I always have an issue with my order there.
Let's just keep going back.
Yeah. And they keep coming back to that well that's clearly dry. Clearly there's no water there.
So, first, I would wonder if they said something to the people before they just went online
Right?
and blasted it. But on
Which
another
is
note,
so
you should never get full price ever. Like, how is that even possible?
Yeah. Well, I admit that is a bit of an annoyance. But again, like what I would do, and I know this is crazy, I check my order before I leave. Like I don't just sit in the window and check it because that's really annoying to everyone. But I'll like pull over and then I'm like checking my
I'm
bag.
already shoving fries in my mouth before I pull.
Right? How do you not know, right? I'm doing a sample, a test, so to speak.
But Zaxby's does have really good fries, so it would be disappointing to get a bad batch of fries.
It would.
From Zaxby's.
So I gotta say, this is a lot. You know, again, like there's always the package, but what about like the Google review page? What about like again, like I don't believe anybody's making it home before they taste their fries. I don't believe it. I think that's a myth. So you're in the parking lot clearly. Just go inside and ask for a new price. That's just me.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, what took place before they posted that, because they should have definitely went back through the drive-through and been like, "Y'all can have these back and give me some more."
Exactly. Yeah, there's a process. There's a process. Okay, so Alpharetta, Milton, and Cumming. This is where this one comes from.
Mhm.
Y'all, please. This one's a call for advice. So, yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, this is a call for advice from an anonymous member. I'm going to be anonymous too if I ask this kind of advice. So, y'all, please, I'm drowning and need advice. My 3-year-old is strong-willed, which can relate. Maple is very strong. He will throw down, screaming for hours about how he wants his tablet at bedtime.
Mm-hmm.
The light hurts my eyes, so I turn off the nightlight. I'm scared of the dark, so I turn back on the nightlight. I can't just ignore him because he will not let anyone else sleep, and I have a 1-year-old who will get scared and seriously need me to nurse him back to sleep. My 6-year-old and 14-year-old have school in the morning and need sleep, and my husband wakes for a 12-hour shift at 5 a.m. I am trying to hold strong, but I'm at an effing loss. Okay, so please, what do I do? Can we just start by saying, can we stop giving kids tablets?
It's a 3-year-old, right?
Yeah, a 3-year-old.
A tablet should stop way earlier in the evening.
Yeah, if you even give your 3-year-old a tablet, which there's a lot of studies. Yeah, but there's like maybe back when they first came out, like people didn't know the impact of.
Well, it should definitely have a screen. Yeah, like a 30-minute screen time, and then maybe a couple of hours later you get another 30 minutes. But
right before bed, I mean, even as like an adult, like a grown-ass woman, I try not to look at my blue lights before bed. Like everybody does, but that's going to impair your ability to fall asleep.
Mm-hmm.
And that's responsible for the rise in insomnia and all of that. You know, I went to the pediatrician last week, and the pediatrician made me confirm that Maple's only getting 2 hours of screen time a day, right? Or at least 2 hours or less of screen time a day. But she's not getting any screen time. What she meant by that, because I asked her to clarify, was cell phone and tablet time. Like, well, she's 14 months.
Yeah,
so she's not getting any.
Yeah, we've got that out control.
When she's a baby, like her brain is forming, you know. So I admit, I do let her watch Bluey on television sometimes.
I don't even know anything about that.
She's obsessed with Bluey. It's a problem, but she'll watch it Fridays and Saturdays. She gets an hour of screen time on Fridays, an hour of screen time on Saturdays. So I'm not saying she doesn't get some screen time, but I cannot even imagine letting a 3-year-old just chilling in his crib, you know, watching television.
So what advice would you give to that?
Throw the damn tablet away.
Take it out completely. That's
There's no tablet. I'll be throwing tantrums because you're taking his tablet away. That's already an addiction. Mm-hmm. That's an addiction at 3 years old.
Yeah, I think
Ma'am.
that was my first thought was
give her the damn tablet.
The conversation needs to be, you're gonna have this for 30 minutes or you're never gonna have it again.
Yeah, and if they're already to the point where they cannot fall
And
asleep
definitely
without it,
not. Yeah, it needs to be just like drinks with your kids before bed.
that's
You
crazy.
know, you don't give your kid a drink if you're trying to potty train your kids. They're going to pee in the bed. So
Absolutely.
you take the tablet, whatever they can't do, you take it away at a certain time, and you have a schedule for that.
So
Which
anonymous,
is much easier when they're that way.
so anonymous member. There's your answer. Get rid of damn time.
Yeah.
All right, this one is, and this is all caps letters. Sitting at Sonic, waiting on these slow ass people to give me some ice.
Just I.
Yeah. I'm not. It's
Okay.
Sonic and Zaxby's.
I will say we have a weird Sonic.
It is a weird.
And I've never had any issues. But the only issue I had, I literally asked the girl because I get like I don't know what you call it, but I get the Dr. Pepper with like vanilla and cream and
Okay, that works. So good.
um,
Familiar.
and they make it different because apparently their cream is they have 2 different kinds.
Yeah.
So one lady gave me a different kind, and then I just went through and she handed it to me. I could tell by the color it wasn't what I wanted. So I asked her about it, and she happily made me a different one.
Right.
That I've never had any issues with it. They're so nice when you go up through there. It is weird,
It is kind of weird.
like
because
to
you
drive up
can't
in
park.
there,
Yeah.
and the whole parking situation's off. And I really do. I am from a generation that they used to actually skate out to your car.
Yes.
And when we lived in Louisiana, they would still do
Mhm.
that. And so we were stopping to get like a cherry limeade all the time at our local Sonic.
Yeah.
So I appreciate the Sonic, and I love the Sonic.
I do too, but these
Corn
people,
dogs.
I'm telling you, it's constant.
But it is weird about our Sonic.
It's a little weird, but like,
And when they first opened up, it was a little rocky.
well, it's a bit rocky, but the amount of vitriol and anger to go on social media into all caps letters to complain about a wait to get some ice.
Social media, where was that on?
That one was on one in what's it to this one I believe is in Beaufort. So
Well, that's it.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, and that one's, North Georgia, like, if you kind of squint at it, So more North Atlanta. But yeah,
I mean,
just
more
more passionate.
context in these complaint boxes because I need to know if he was waiting behind other people or if they literally were just making him sit there waiting on ice.
I'm sure it was just your typical run of the mill, like, Sonic experience. You just gotta wait, yeah. All right, our last one, and this one is from Voice of Haversham. Again, like this Cornelia, this Clarksville Sonic this time. Personally, I've never had a bad experience there, but people feel very strongly about the local Sonic in this county.
Cornelia Sonic?
Yeah, this is Clarksville. So, thanks to the fry oil puddle in front of Zaxby's in Clarksville, I've broken my toe. I called to report the oil, and all the manager had to say was, I'm sorry, I don't know how it got there. It smelled like a water puddle, so I walked through it, and it smelled like fry oil and not motor oil. I banged up my leg and apparently broke my toe. My husband went inside after to tell me then it was there and to grab me some napkins because I got covered in it. And while out in the parking lot cleaning my shoes and legs off the best I could, probably about 10 to 15 minutes is what we stayed trying to get oil residue off myself, not a single person came out to put a sign up or even look at the puddle. I hope nobody else gets seriously injured from it, as I doubt they've done anything about it since. The manager was unsympathetic and a little rude. Edit to add, the general manager has reached out, and I will be meeting with him tomorrow. As I said in the comments, I wasn't trying to bring any legal action, just public awareness. Just public awareness. Yeah.
Fry oil?
That's I don't know. I'm a big question.
So, yeah. I mean,
That doesn't make sense to me because I've worked
grease traps in our
Yeah.
restaurants, right?
We do. And that's why I'm like, I don't think it's fry oil because I've got some experience in the fry oil department. Worked at McDonald's and then at the Ingalls in Cumming and in Jasper, Georgia. And yeah, there's grease traps. They don't go outside. They don't pour. It's not like it's the 1800s and you're pouring your grease out of the window. So I've got questions. I do have follow-up questions. I'm sorry you broke your toe. If you're listening. I know that sucks, but I don't think it was flying oil. And
No.
at least
A piece of advice is just if you see a puddle in a parking lot, you
don't walk through it. Yeah,
Because
because
there's anything, like oil from a car could be in there. You're gonna get it all over your shoes.
you
Crack it all over
can't
the
see
place.
the bottom of the puddle. Don't step in it. So that's the only takeaway I have for this person. Is stop stepping in sus puddles.
And honestly, you don't know people. This could be a person that falls all the time.
That's a good point.
Don't
right?
buy Dollar General because there's a hole in the.
Yeah, that you should definitely stay away from that Dollar General because there's potholes on the parking lot. You should avoid that. Yeah. All right, so that is all that we have today for this special Christmas tea time, or excuse me, Thanksgiving. Getting ahead of myself.
Pre-Christmas
Tea time special. Now, as we wrap up today, I have my rapid fire questions for Jessica. Answer in 3 to 5 words. Are you ready? Yeah, 3 to 5 words. No, everyone breaks the rule. Well, we tried 3 to 5 words. Okay. Question 1. How many chicken wings can you eat at a time?
Oh, probably like 5.
Okay, very dainty, very demure. Yeah, mine's not really a chicken wing. I'm a chicken wing girl. Question 2. What's the strangest thing you've ever Googled? And reminder, this is a family-friendly program.
I honestly have not questions. I really don't. My short term.
All right, question 3. If you could spend a day learning any new craft or skill, what would it be?
I would love to have a potter's wheel.
That is very cool. Question 4. If you could rename yourself, what would your name be?
Oh, I always feel uncomfortable when people say my name, so I don't think it matters.
No,
What
you're
it would
gonna
be.
just feel uncomfortable.
It's very humbling.
Yeah.
When someone say your name.
Well, your name is so
It's
Gen X.
It's so
Yeah, it's very Gen X. For sure.
And I've been Jennifer instead of Jessica.
Yeah.
Because it's the same.
Jason.
Yeah, but if I was a boy, my mom was going to name me Stuart.
Oh goodness.
I don't feel like I would think Stuart.
Goodness, you are a girl.
I don't know if I would rename myself anything.
And then, I can't get too uppity because I named my daughter Maple. And
That's so cute.
she will either love it or hate it. So we'll see. Let's see, question 5. What's one piece of advice you'd give someone starting a small business?
I would say just jump in head first. I mean, that's kind of the way I do everything, but what are you going to lose? And if anything, which I'm so kind of laxed at everything, but I get uptight when it comes to festivals and stuff. But as far as spending the money to buy my stuff, it's my hobby. It's what I want to do anyway.
Right.
So if it doesn't sell, it doesn't matter to me. I'll give it away as Christmas presents. But if there's something that you want to do or an idea that you have, just jump in. I literally, the last thing I Googled today was how to start a nonprofit because I had an idea and I was like, okay, let's just see.
That's right. Your life is so much better when you just say yes.
Yeah, just try
so
it.
much better when you say yes.
Just try it.
And do you have any closing thoughts, messages, or advice for listeners?
After doing the tea time segment, I would say think before you type. Don't just say which is just the
really good advice. Great advice.
I have no filter, but it's a lot easier to think about it before you type it instead of thinking about it before you say it.
Oh.
Because I just say whatever comes in my brain, but when I'm reading something online, it gives me a moment to not show my crazy.
Oh yeah, sometimes what you don't say is way more important than what you do. That moment, I always feel so empowered when I can this whole thing typed out, and I'm like, you know what? Just go backspace it.
Yes.
I always feel so mature. I'm so good. All right. Now, guys, all 40 of you, please listen to, please purchase and check out from Flesh and Wild. Truly the most unique, textured, most, I guess, how would I describe the paint colors? The colors that you choose. How would you describe it? They're very, I don't know, it's like watching a Disney movie. the color schemes and the richness of the hues. They're truly unique items. You cannot find something like this in a box retail store. You can't do it. You have to go to Etsy and spend like $80, and you wouldn't have quite the tailor-made appearance that Blush and Wild products have. You can always talk to Jessica about how to customize items. She's really good about
Colors for
customizing.
sure. And it's
Mhm.
definitely handmade piece by piece. I started doing flowers this summer,
Mm-hmm.
and it is petal by petal.
It is.
That I'm
It
putting on.
really is. And the books have pages. I mean, she did for our Dias de los Muertos festival that we hosted. She was a vendor and she made the most beautiful Dias de los Muertos earrings. She can make anything. So
Thank you.
this year, when you are looking for a genuinely unique and affordable gift, people often say it's too expensive to buy from small businesses. These products are a bang for your buck, truly, and they make really good stocking stuffers, really good meaningful gifts. If you want to give a thoughtful piece of jewelry to a loved one, you've got to check out Blush and Wild. Follow them on social media through Instagram. Are you on TikTok?
I do a different thing on TikTok.
Okay, so
Instagram
Instagram.
on TikTok.
Gotcha. So Instagram and Facebook. Follow Jessica Beach on Instagram and Facebook. Feel free to send her a DM. Thank you guys once again for following us. Thank you, Rosie, for co-hosting this special Thanksgiving episode. And look forward to our next episode. Bye, guys.
Thanks for having me.